Hi guys, we're going to talk about essential oils today. Now this is something that I have just started learning about fairly recently, so I am not going to delve deeply into all the different blends and things like that. I'm going to give you info on the basics. And the first thing that I think that you should always do when you learn about anything new is educate yourself. So the best book that I have found so far is called The Complete Book of Essential Oils and Aromatherapy. I got this book on Amazon. It's by Valerie Ann Warwood. She also makes a book about children's essential oils, which I also purchased. But this one is similar information, and it's pretty in-depth, so I find this one to be a great book for learning about all the different types of essential oils and how you can use them for your health and how you can use them for cleaning and things like that. So I recommend you pick that up at Amazon. I buy a lot of my books on Amazon used. I don't believe this one was used. I always do a cost comparison. If it costs almost the same amount new as it does used, I'll usually get the book new. But if I can save a pretty significant amount of money, then I will buy it used. For example, I'm going to show you, this book is How to Raise a Healthy Child in Spite of Your Doctor. I paid 1 penny for this book, but I paid $4 shipping. But I think new the book was $8 or $10, so I paid about half the cost to buy it used, and it's in really good shape. It looks virtually brand new. And this is a really good book. I highly recommend this book if you're into holistic treatment. It's named How to Raise a Healthy Child in Spite of Your Doctor by Dr. Robert Mendelsohn. Very good book. Okay, so let's just jump right to it. I'll just go through some of the basics that I use. The big one that I use that I'm out of right now is lavender. I have a shipment coming in this week. Lavender can be used for cuts and scrapes. It can be used to mix a lot of different oils, a lot of the blends. You can use lavender. You'll find lavender in that book used quite a bit. Another oil that I love, which is why I buy this big bottle of it, and I buy all my oils at Amazon. You can also buy them at GNC. You can buy them at Walmart. You can buy them at Whole Foods, all over the place. But eucalyptus is a big one. That's why I have this big bottle. We use this whenever we get colds and flus. It's a great oil to use for the respiratory system. You can either mix it up and put it on your chest, use it as a chest rub. I also throw it in the bottom of the shower, and when you're taking a shower, the steam comes up and it just opens your sinuses. You can put it in the bathtub. Just make sure you mix it really well so that it doesn't burn your skin. I haven't found this one actually to be too bad in terms of burning, but if you're worried about that, you can always mix it with something called a carrier oil. I use this coconut carrier oil by Plant Therapy. I got it at Amazon. Coconut carrier oil. You can use straight olive oil, and I haven't tried this, but I'm sure you could do this. I buy this huge thing of coconut oil from Costco. You could just mix any of the oils with that, I'm sure, as long as you're not allergic, of course. And you can use straight up vegetable oil. That's one of the ones that comes highly recommended in that book. So if you feel like an oil is going to be too strong, you can mix the oil with what they call a carrier oil to lessen the effects. Sometimes I put the eucalyptus straight on my skin, but if you're putting it on your child, you may want to mix it with some of the oil. It's great to put on the front of your chest, your child's chest, and also on the back of your child's chest when they go to bed at night if they're very congested, the eucalyptus oil. One of my staples, which I just learned about a few months ago, the brand name for this one, the main name, is called Four Thieves Oil or Thieves Oil. I found this blend called Germ Fighter Oil by Plant Therapy. It's the same ingredients as the Thieves Oil, but it costs significantly less. So I recommend Germ Fighter or Thieves Oil. I use this one by putting it on the soles of my children's feet. I actually put a few drops under my tongue because it's pretty spicy. So I put it under my tongue and wait a few minutes before I swallow it. And I also put it sometimes in a tea or in some juice for my kids. They could never take this just straight because it's pretty strong. But this is really, really good for the immune system. I find this one to be great for colds and flus in terms of knocking it out. And I also put this in my diffuser, which we'll talk about in a minute, and I'll diffuse it right next to the bed of whomever is not feeling well that day. Another oil that I love to use, and it really has the jack of all trades, it has a lot of different types of uses, is tea tree oil. Talked about this before. The tea tree oil I use for pimples. It's great for I always get pimples around my neckline when I go running. I use it for that. It's really good antifungal. If you ever have any kind of yeast issues, if there's any issues with nail fungus or athlete's foot or yeast infections, you can put tea tree oil on a tampon and it will treat your yeast infection naturally without taking heavy medication. You can also use coconut oil, surprisingly enough, for yeast infections. You can use coconut oil to just calm things down there, and it will also treat it, but the tea tree oil is much stronger and will treat it faster to heal the yeast infection, and for pimples, of course. Another oil that I'm just starting to learn about is frankincense. Frankincense has a ton of different uses. One of the big uses is for your skin, so for pimples, and tons of different uses. I'll talk more about it in another video as I learn more. I don't want to give you recommendations about something that I don't know that much about, but I love that you can use it for pimples, and that's what I've been using it for. You can also put it in your bath, and you can mix it with other oils to make it very fragrant, so it's a great blend if you're trying to have a spa bath, and you can mix it in your bath and have a nice calming bath. Orange oil. Another great, it smells wonderful. It's a great oil if you want to diffuse it in your house instead of those plug-ins, which I've used for years, which I'm learning the chemicals aren't so great. So I've been trying to go back to the more natural oils. So I put the orange oil in my diffuser or my oil burner, and it's wonderful. It's great in the bath to have a spa bath. The jasmine oil I use in my bath. You get out of the bath smelling wonderfully, and it really calms you down, and it's a beautiful smell. And some of these you can mix together. Oregano oil, this is a big one. Oregano oil is great for treating colds and flus, and it's a great treatment if you're prone to yeast infections. So you can take it internally. I would not recommend using it, the same way that you would the tea tree oil. But for my kids, I just rubbed some on the bottoms of their feet. It's pretty strong, so you may want to use a carrier oil. With the oregano oil, it can burn. You have to be really careful. And I take it internally. I put a couple drops under my tongue. Usually I put 1 to 2 drops maximum and leave it there, and then always have some water handy because this stuff is really strong. But it knocks my sore throat out super fast within a day. So that's a great oil.